Hi, welcome guys for another video. So today I have a really special one. Today I'll be talking about Ghost of Tsushima, Remembrance of the Past, and today will be more combat focused and like history of fights I got into and just remembering Ghost of Tsushima that was and still is a masterpiece, and I really loved it. And I just here is gonna share how much of a machine, how much of an animal I was back then. That's now I'm thinking back, it was just like, how the hell did I do these certain things? I can't believe it. I did all those things because I remember Ghost of Tsushima was one of those games. Like I would just play, and then I would just not play any another game. I just won't play another game. Just play this one, and I would just get like involved in it. And the perfect thing was the perfect thing that I the way I like to play games essentially is just take my time and I never rush things. I may play a lot, but I'll never like play like the entire day. That's just kind of sick. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna take my time, play a bit, and that's how I do things. And it just feels good. I don't know how some people do it, but like those walkthrough channels. But for me, I just have to take things slowly. That's the way I like it. So, but like I just used to devour this game. It's the only game I'll ever play, Ghost of Tsushima, and it was just really fun because it was just such a great game. Like it's just amazing. So today I'm gonna be sharing was and is a great game. So today I'm gonna be sharing the combat situations that I got into that's really epic and legendary. That even today I just can't believe I was able to do certain things because it takes a lot of skill. And I even at one point I think I was just like the best Ghost of Tsushima player ever, honestly, like for real, because I was just destroying everyone. Not in combat wise, you may think, like, but like destroying them in situations. So what thing is about so how it started? So it started with Jin doing stealth, which actually is not something that samurai don't normally do that, and that's something I learned from Ghost of Tsushima. I learned a lot of things from Ghost of Tsushima. From history-wise, I learned a lot from Japanese history, but also life-wise and other stuff as well. Because it was pretty interesting that samurai actually don't like are really honorable. I knew that, but I didn't know they were just so honorable that they can't take advantage of the enemy turning their back or anything. They just has to be an honorable duel, and I found that really, really honorable, really cool and wholesome. At least that was what Uncle taught us, and it was a pretty emotional scene when Jin actually got his first doing a stealth kill on an enemy because he was like bound to that code and he didn't want to break it. He didn't want to disappoint his uncle. But the thing is, you learn eventually, and what Jin learned is it's all good and dandy, when you're following that rules, um, following your principles. But what if your enemy don't respect your principles? So what are you gonna do? You're just gonna sit there and get punched? No, you just have to adapt and evolve and just be better. And try to overcome the situation. And what's cool about that is that you don't need to sake like over you don't need to forsake your beliefs. You just need to adapt and evolve to a changing world. And that is what Jin believed in, and I believe he's 100% correct about that. Because change and evolve is to survive and to win the wars, essentially in war. And I remember with Jin just doing his first kill was really cool actually. Very emotional as well because he had to save the civilians and break the code with the assassin strike, with the tanto, and then after that was like killing spree. Not really, but as things starting to evolve, the combat evolved, everything, and they were just starting to take down the Mongols and get the fight to them essentially. And I remember a fight that was really cool with a standoff against a bandit. I thought was really cool. One the standoff, and I remember like the bandit just holding his neck because we hit him and just fall to the ground. It's pretty crazy. Of course, we didn't terror out the other ones because we're just still really at the start. But it was, it was something really cool. And the thing is, you could actually go through the entire game if I think if you rush like the main story, you may not even gain enough reputation to like become the ghost. Because if you want to become, because the more reputation you have in Ghost of Tsushima, the more the enemies will fear you, and the more things you could do, and the more terror you could spread, and just like bring the fight to the Mongols essentially, and just make him run, and make your life easier as well, and also give hope to the people of Tsushima, which is really important. So another thing was really cool, and I remember also avoiding projectiles. Projectiles that they shot like I couldn't deflect yet, but I remember just dodging it like, and then attacking them was pretty cool. And then the sync combat was just really sick. I remember them attacking me, and then like I did a parry, and then the sword was just they were just kind of dancing around. It was really cool, and it was really epic fights. And I also remember going through bongo camps. One was really interesting when that one was kind of fishing on the backside of a lake, and I kind of got him. And then there was kind of a fight dragging on something. There's something going. I think it was wildlife. I think it was a bear just attacking the camp. If it wasn't attacking the camp, it was like in the outskirts of the camp. It was not actually inside. But it was kind of attacking. It was a perfect distraction for me to get inside and kill the commander. I remember that was so sick. Just taking advantage of the distraction to take down the commander and take out the rest. And why is it important to take out the commander? Because the commander or the general, I don't think it's generals, just the commander of the camp, whatever. Because they're heavily armored, so if you keep them alive, they'll give up a big fight. And I think they even give bonuses to their allies or something, if I remember correctly, to make them fight better. If it wasn't the generals, I know that the shamans in the DLC of Ghost of Tsushima, they were just crazy. They buffed their allies, but I think like the generals also do that. So the me just sneaking in like that, like, especially in early game, was so good, and taking out the general. And not only that, I took out other enemies until it was too late. And then one guard finally noticed after the skirmish they got outside with the bear, I think. When he finally noticed, it was too late, and he was kind of panicking, running at me. And then I remember he put up his shield. But then Jin really smartly, just avoided his shield and hit his shoulder, and he just fell down, and I killed the last guy. It was so sick. It was so cool. Because if you would go through that, like, if you go through that kind of like not thinking, just turning your brain off, you would struggle. Because if you don't take advantage of certain situations, you would struggle a lot, because the Mongols were really strong. They were, especially the armored ones, were really strong, and even the basic ones, they could put up, the basic infantry will put up actually a really good fight, actually, if you're not careful. Excuse me. They put up a really big fight. So it's really important to do those things, and also remember like getting a lot of cool kills as well. Infiltrating kind of a fortress town as well. It was kind of muddy and all that stuff, and doing stealth kills, and also, but not all the time. The thing is, you could do stealth, but the thing is, with Ghost of Tsushima, it was really cool. If you fail the stealth, the enemies are not stupid enough just to hang there and say, "Oh, let me just die." They're not they're not stupid. They actually call in their allies, and before you know it, just be swarmed by enemies. So it's not like I did everything flawlessly. That would be no fun, actually. That would not be fun. But I remember like going through a fort, and there's like some enemies. I took some of them out with bow and arrow. We had a lot of options. In Ghost of Tsushima, like how we want to take out an enemy. And then I stealthed with one, but the other one kind of saw me and got in a fight. And with Ghost of Tsushima, you also have to be really smart with your equipment and what you use and what you don't use, because you have to be really smart about it, which is what I really loved and still love, is like the resource management management, like kind of like in like Resident Evil games. But with Resident Evil, it's kind of different because the Resident Evil kind of just you can escape. But with Ghost of Tsushima, you just can't. You just have to stand and fight. So the more resources you spend, the more you can't get out of a fight. So in this case, you have a smoke bomb in Ghost of Tsushima, but you only have limited like to 2 or 3, and if you don't use them in certain situations, you can get screwed. Um, so it was pretty interesting that I was able to do the smoke bomb, escape. I think I was grappled into a roof, escape, and then like they're kind of trying to find me. Where is he? Whatever their Mongol languages. It was like super like sweaty because what am I gonna do now? And then like I was trying to survey the situation, which is really good. And you might be thinking, why didn't you just climb on top of the building first? Well, it's not. You can't fly because Tsushima, right? You just can't fly. So I just had to get that to position to climb up. So the way I was able to do that was getting too close to the building. So I had to get through those guards anyway to get to that building. But that building was a miracle saver because after that I was able to survey the area more and also pick up my fights when they were disorganized. And I remember doing like a really sick environmental kill, which you could do, which is using a specific arrow that hits the tray of fire. I don't know what it's called. It's a candelier. It's not a candelier. I don't think candeliers existed back then, but it's something that like you put up top to illuminate, like during the night, and that was kind of during the night. And if you shoot it, you can actually spray the ashes on top of the enemy, and they actually burn. They burn alive, and that's a secret tech. You have to. That is not easy to do. Actually, it's actually not easy because you have to read into things, and the thing is, I like reading into things. So me finding that out, that actually worked. Actually, I think I killed 2 enemies, able to trick 2 enemies to fall into it. It was so amazing. And then after that, I was just rolling through the enemies. It was really amazing. I went through a building, snuck in the Tanto, and killed one enemy in the throat before he saw me, which is really cool. Got into some other fights, not fights, but stealth kills. That you could also jump into enemies. I'm kind of really explaining a lot because a lot of cool stuff. It's just like amazing gameplay. And then slowly but surely, cleared out the entire camp and was really cool. And then Jin just wakes up with the horse, just sleeping on the horse, which is pretty cool. And we cleared the town. So that was really one cool segment. There's so many good stories. I gotta just share the more important ones. Let's see another important one. So another really cool one was a bandit group attacking, kind of skirmishing with the Mongol camp. And it was a good opportunity to like kind of weaken them. And I was like, I could have attacked straight up with Jin, but it wasn't a good idea because again, the commander, extremely well armored, extremely strong fat guy with armor, and you know how it is in Assassin's Creed game. Even in Assassin's Creed games, like the fat guys, they always survive a lot, so you have to be careful. And the same thing with Ghost of Tsushima, so going straight in wasn't really a good idea. But at the same time, I was able to see they actually were really close to me. They almost spotted me, like a bandit group just attacking. They were going through that area, but then they saw the Mongols. They decided to attack, and they almost spotted me. If they spotted me, I would just have everyone on top of me. So that was really close. But since I have Buddhist monk levels of patience, I was able to just let them fight each other. That's not my problem. Just let them fight each other. It was really funny. Then I just went around the camp exploring weak spots, and we found like a crack in the wall, and we went through the fence or through the wooden barrier or whatever, wooden stake, and then we started taking out enemies, and then we finally knocked down. We almost killed the general. I think at that point we couldn't kill him because Yeah, it was, we started early game a bit, but that was really useful to get him killed. And then again, we cleared the camp again by taking advantage of our surroundings, essentially. And the cool thing is about this is this none of these I'm talking about right now. You might think, oh, these are scripted. You're already scripted to happen anyway. Or actually, they're not. If you don't wait, if you don't survey the area or anything, those things they don't happen. They're not scripted. They can happen or they could not happen. You could be there like 10 hours and it won't happen. So it's just all about taking your time and taking advantage of situations. And then that was really cool. Another situation was another cool thing, which is really sick as well. I think one of my best was of all time was actually going to a camp, which I think was like a bit more late game camp, where it had the Shina Lakes. I think they're called Shina Lakes. I don't remember. I know they're rocket artillery essentially. They're pretty much rocket artillery. I think I remember reading in a description that I think the first ever like rocket artillery that ever existed. And there are not many of them, but if you go through enough camps, you find one. And I think that is a specific to that camp. And me being a freaking my past self, being a freaking animal, freaking machine, was able to do it in the best way, in the most stylish way, man. Man, it was just so sick. It's hard to believe it. Even you guys might be hearing this right now, but you might actually not believe it either because it was so freaking sick. It was just so cool. It's hard to believe how I was able to do that. I was just like, even today, I just can't believe I did it. So what happened is, I saw that camp. I sneaked in as usual, found a weak spot. Able to sneak in, get a cool neck shot with the Tanto, and an enemy, killed him, went around, killed another, I think 2 or 3 more. Then went on top of it wasn't wooden house. I think it had some that sheet metal that that they put in the houses just to like use it as basic cover. And they use that sheet metal, and I remember going on top of it and just surveying the area. But then those bastard Mongols, the scout troopers, nothing to do with Star Wars, by the way, nothing to do with that. The scout troopers means that the scout soldiers, I guess, they would normally be on horseback, or if they weren't on horseback, they would just be sitting around with a damn eagle, just surveilling the area against you. So then the eagle will just get awakened, and then it would, not attack you, but alert all the enemies. So you had to hit the eagle. But first I had other concerns, was the freaking rocket launcher guy. Not a guy, but also the artillery crew just sitting in the back in a tower, and I was able to get some really good kills with the bow and arrow with it. But then as soon as I went down, the damn eagle spotted me and everyone started going after me. And then I remember popping a smoke bomb, and then I said, now this is a perfect opportunity. Let's see if this works. And then for somehow, some way, actually was able to work. I was sneaking a smoke bomb. I think I got hit a bit. Tried to put a smoke bomb by a soldier, but I was able to get down just in time before they recovered from the smoke bomb, before they could understand what was happening. I was able to get up top the tower and use the rocket launcher against them. It was so cool. And then there's like, or whatever they're saying, or whatever they're saying, what's happening? Probably. And then all of a sudden I turned their own rocket launcher against them, the Shina Lake or the Shina rocket launcher, and turned it around. And then let's see if I can shoot this. I was going through that assumption scene. I was thinking, before I got it up there, I thought, let me see if I can destroy this but then I saw a use button, and my eyes just lightened, and I got a bazillion IQ going through my head. I transcended reality. It's like, okay, now I'm gonna use it against them. And then they turned around, and it was, by the way, guys, it was a gigantic roof. Probably to a small camp, it was gigantic. It was probably like 6 enemies, and I killed like 4 of them, and there was like 6 to 7 enemies still there, and they were just rushing at me, like they're about to see me, and I just shot the rocket launcher at them, and they all died. It was so amazing. I think I even tried to do a screenshot of it, and it was just so cool. And that's just a memory to share us there. That was just so amazing. And then at the same time, this is can't believe it. At the same time, I cleared them out, and that single barrage actually cleaned out the entire camp. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, wow, we actually did it. And then there was like the cutscene of the villagers getting inside, or something like that, and then it's just clearing the area. And it was just so amazing. That was so cool. Oh my god. Oh man, this is so good. Tsushima is so great. I think that's it. I think. Oh man, there's already 21 minutes. What? I've been talking for 20 minutes. I'm sorry, but these stories are just so amazing. You know what? I'll review one more story. One more, just really fast. Was one where I was able to help an old lady and get the toxin pipe. Not a pipe to smoke, by the way. Not a smoking pipe, but a blowgun. No, it's not a blowgun. What is it called? Oh, it's the dart gun, which was able, using a dart, like you spit on it, and it pulls out a dart. And you could put a dart for multiple things. It could be to kill the enemy, but it has to be low armor. If they have armor, it won't kill them, obviously. You can do it to hallucinations, which is the best one. They can hallucinate them. I think just make them get confused, like not actually attack their own soldiers, but it can make them be so confused. They're just like, they're kind of like just strolling around. If I remember correctly, it was like they're kind of high, like putting the Mongols high on drugs, just spitting drugs on their face. So you could do that, which is okay. And I think the last one, which I think was the most amazing one, it was just the ingredient that was the most rare to collect. I think the flower, the most rare to collect. I think it was even a purple flower. Again, all this is by remembrance, me remembering. And you could like put the purple flower, which I think in Japanese is aiku, something like that, which is a toxic flower, and you could use that toxin to actually make the enemies attack their own soldiers. But you may think, oh, that's super powerful. That's overpowered, broken. Oh my god, you can't use that. That's overpowered and broken. Like, I don't care. And neither the developers care because it's just amazing. It's an amazing tool. But at the same time, just to answer that question, is actually not broken. It was not overpowered or broken because you can only have like 2 shots, I believe. And even if you hit an enemy, it doesn't guarantee that the deranged enemy that attacks your enemies will kill everyone. They obviously won't do that, you know. Even if you put it on a big guy, a big chunky guy, it wouldn't, like, you would just get overwhelmed and killed. So the way you're supposed to use that tool, from my understanding, it was like in combination with it to like wreak chaos and just clear, like sneak your way in with the chaos. And I remember doing like, this is the last story, by the way. I'm really ending, okay? So I was able to go through a small camp, clearing out the dogs, which the dogs was also an alerting thing. You already know how that is. Excuse me. And then I was able to get through the dogs and everything, and the lookouts. And then after that, I went down, and then I was like, oh, look at this big enemy here. This big shield enemy, and he's kind of isolated, and I can, and also the dart gun also has a really low range, so you have to be really close to get it. So I was able to sneak in a hit on him, and then he started getting, and then he went deranged and started attacking his own archers. I remember he even put like just swinging and just throwing them off, throwing them super far. And then I was able to sneak through the area that it was kind of looking through as well, and went in and killed the commander. And the commander guys, I think they have golden armor if I remember correctly. If you kill them, like in the story, like the main story, they could spread like terror and the enemies start running away. And especially if you kill them right in the front of their face, they just start running like crazy. So, and it was pretty interesting that I was able to get that, sneak in perfectly, just get like right to his tent actually, and just get a kill. And then I went outside with him. I think you dragged him outside, and then like everyone starts, everyone got shocked. And then I went ghost mode, which is ghost mode allows you to like pretty much paralyze your enemies and then just like strike them like chow chow with the katana without them able to defend themselves. And that was the clearing. I was able to do that clearing in like a really cool way, like specially kill way. And the big guy, by the way, the big guy killed it. I think he killed an archer, but he also killed himself. Not killed himself, but he got like the poison actually killed him. So this is perfect. Everything just, oh man, such a good memory. Everything just went perfect, and that was it. And then to top it all off, I think I got an achievement, which was mass eviction, mass eviction achievement, which is just perfect. And that's the end of the story. I think I spoke for too long now. I'm sorry. I'm just not paying attention, just remembering stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have your own stories, please let me know what your own stories are, or if you have questions about Ghost of Tsushima and everything, or questions about my channel or whatever. This is not something I usually do, but like I just feel like it's just a perfect opportunity to remember the past with Ghost of Yotei coming in. So I feel like this is perfect. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video.